on now, Frankenstein, and I want to know what the fuck you're doing with my time!
Keeping up the theme of Christmas, Day of the Dead. So, the zombie apocalypse has been happening for a while now. It's been a long time. Most of the population is dead. And we are focusing on these people who are trapped in this military bunker, and they're just going crazy. These army guys run it. They're run by this crazy man who's completely antagonistic and horrible, and just a horrible bully. There are these scientists trying to find a way to cure, or at least, calm down the zombies. And they're met with opposition from the army guys at every turn because they think, oh, they're just wasting our time, they're wasting our resources. And in a way, the army guys are right. Now, this movie has a lot of different plots and a lot of different ideas being explored, but the main plot is that scientists are trying to find a cure for zombieism. The army guys are giving them resources and protection, and are getting fed up with the lack of results. Admittedly, it's a tough plot to follow, but the movie's not about the plot. The movie is about expressing certain ideas. And the movie does such a great job at expressing all these fascinating ideas, and it's like Star Trek The Next Generation. You're exploring all these political ideas, all these philosophical discussions are being had, and it's a joy to listen to that. And this is such a great setting for those ideas. People just trapped in a bunker, pretty much just defeated, and with nowhere to go. There's some great shots. They're just so creepy and make you feel weird inside, and it's great horror cinematography. And there are tons of amazing gore effects, some of which I don't even know how they did it. Like, some really awesome gore. Usually I'm not disgusted by gore, but there were scenes where I was like, ooh, that's a little much. Because it got to me that way. Now, the acting is all very overdone, but that kind of adds to the charm of this movie in a way. And that also helps express this movie's ideas, that we have all these people that are on such extreme sides of a certain philosophical idea. Oh boy, Joe Pilato as the bullying officer in command, he's just so amazing. His yell, his just facial expression, he looks evil and he looks like a crazy person, and he's just so good. And he really is just what makes this movie. And through the expression of ideas in this movie, you kind of come to care about certain characters, and you take a side and you care about them a lot. So when the climax rolls around, you're really just invested in this story so much, and you want to see these characters make it out of this situation. Basically, this movie is a melodramatic study of the human condition, how we would react to a situation that's hopeless. And there's some really interesting zombie science in this movie. If you like zombie stuff, this really does take it to another level for you. Because there's a scientist in this movie that is studying the way they move and the way that they think and act, and in terms of a science fiction premise, that is really interesting. He's trying to make the zombies more peaceful, and that's part of expressing an idea, and at the same time, that's a fascinating idea in zombie fiction. And the zombie that gets tested on in this movie, whoever acted as that zombie did such a great job of being expressive and emotional, because that zombie is the heart of this movie, and he is the best part of the movie as well. He's what truly gets you invested in this story. One thing about this movie that's a little strange is the ending, because it's a little weird, and there's a lot of different ways to interpret it. But from the way I interpreted the ending, I liked it, and I think it was presented in a really interesting way. Day of the Dead is a fascinating movie with lots of really interesting ideas, and that are presented in interesting ways. Lots of fun characters, really enjoyable over-the-top acting, and lots of great gore effects. This really is a zombie movie to watch if you're into zombie fiction. this is a really important one. I'm gonna give Day of the Dead an A.
Caution. Many of the human cognitive functions, apparently the result of decay in the frontal, parietal, temporal, and occipital lobes. On revival, the rate of decomposition is slowed substantially. Indications are that these beings could function over a period of years. In cases of early revival, 10 to 12 years before decay would threaten immobility. The brain is the engine, Sarah, the motor that drives them. They don't need any blood flow, don't need any of their internal organs. Now, I've severed all the vital organs in this one. There's nothing left of the corpse but brain and limbs, and still it functions. Look, Sarah, look. See, it wants me. It wants food, but it has no stomach. It can take no nourishment from what it ingests. It's working on instinct, on deep, dark, primordial instinct. Decomposition occurs first in the frontal lobes, the neocortex, and next in the limbic system, the middle brain. But the core is the last thing to be attacked by the decay. It's the R complex, Sarah, that central bit of prehistoric jelly that we inherited from the reptiles. Here, I've gone into the center here and attacked the R complex discreetly. I've removed it from the equation in this corpse. I believe this creature would be benign even if it had its eyesight and its other senses. Its primitive instincts have been erased. It still has motor function. Probably still has powers of deliberation. It can be domesticated, Sarah, don't you see? It can be conditioned to behave the way we want it to behave.